What's up guys, Chris here from Mainly Mesh, doing another head review today, but calming things down and doing it a little fireside style. Today I'm going to be running you through the brand new Stringking Mark II-D. I didn't have any advanced peaks on this head, so my first glance was at LaxCon this year. Was able to get back and string one up, and then take it out to the field a little bit, toss around, get a sense for it, and this is an amazing, amazing option from Stringking. Stringking has really set their sights on making the best scoops possible in the game, and that's been one of their main focal points of their advertisements as well, and I really think they knocked the ball out of the park in terms of the scoop on the Mark II-D. As you've seen, a lot of their pros do crazy ground ball pickups, and including some of the employees as well. Even I, with my limited long pull skills, was able to do some pretty cool things on the field as far as pickups go, being able to just really take the ground ball from any angle whatsoever, whether you're scooping it from the side, scooping it straight on, scooping it on an angle, and I think that alone would make this an incredible option for any long pull who's looking to push the ball in transition and really just get the GBs and get possession back to your offense. Luckily though, that's not the only awesome feature of this head. The II-D features that same kind of efficiently cored out profile that the II-V has, so although it's surprisingly light for a defensive head, it's really super stiff. I'm not sure I'd call it quite the stiffest on the market. I'd have to kind of compare it side by side with the Hammer 500. It's got to be at least as stiff. So it's a really solid option overall, and I really don't see this breaking down much over time in the slightest. The II-D has some nice thick throat pillars down here, so I don't foresee any breakage issues down in the throat at all. It also features their same little lock throat screw. No, that's the Warrior patent. It features Stringking's little screw thingy, trademark, which will help eliminate some ground ball rattle, but more importantly help kind of keep that head on snug so it's not sliding. A lot of times defensive players who aren't as focused on their head won't really push the head down all the way, and that little extra gap will really wear down the throat of a lacrosse head when you're playing defense. So this will at least make you conscious when you're putting the head on, making sure you're getting the screw all lined up, and help keep that throat section of the head lasting as long as possible. Stringking also took a very aggressive approach with the offset here. So if I'm holding it straight on a shaft, basically the lie of this head, this point up here, is really brought back above the center point of the shaft and almost all the way back up to the top throat, which is something that I would definitely not like in a short stick, but for a long pull where you kind of want a little bit more whip in your stick anyways, it really feels incredibly smooth and was something that I was worried about as I first put it on a pull, but I really didn't notice it when I was going through my throwing motions, and it definitely helped the ground balls a lot. What that angle does is, as you can see here, it allows me to have a steeper angle with my hands and the shaft while I get that same flat profile going through a GB. So if this were a normal head, I'd probably have to cock my hands all the way back down to maybe a 30-degree angle from the ground, but as you can see here, I can get my hands almost to a 45-degree angle and still have a very flat profile, making GBs a breeze. So whatever you might lose from a throwing perspective on a short stick, you don't lose on a long pull, A, and B, it really helps the ground balls with a pull, especially if you're the type of guy who likes to choke up a little. That's going to make your life a breeze. The II-D has the same 29 sidewall holes that the II-V does, also has that same throat section. I'm not the biggest fan of the throat holes, but it's something that you can easily work your way around, and the 29 sidewall holes are going to really allow you guys to customize your defensive pocket a lot. The only thing I'd say stringing wise is this head is definitely wide up top, so I don't think you guys are going to be able to get a high pocket, a super high pocket with a lot of channel. You can absolutely get a high pocket here, and the ball's gonna sit high no matter what because the lowest point of this stick is right about halfway up the head. But don't expect to get a crazy high sitting pocket and a lot of channel. As you can see here, I kind of split the difference. I always like making my pocket sit right underneath the lowest point of the head, and you can get a decent amount of channel, nothing too crazy. The other thing that I'll talk about in the stringing video for the pattern I put up with this head is you don't always want to channel your defensive sticks too much because it can hurt GBs, but I'll talk about that later. Overall, I'd say Stringking is 2 for 2 with their new head releases. I wasn't really wed to the Mark I, but the Mark II-V and the Mark II-D are incredibly solid options and really top of the line, top of the market heads without breaking the bank too much at that $90 price point. So we're seeing some pretty impressive technology and engineering without breaking the $100 price point and at a much more accessible $90 price point. I'm super excited for the Mark IIa to release in March. And maybe with that, we might see a little 3 for 3 and Stringking putting themselves as one of the top head manufacturers in the entire market. So kudos to Stringking on a job well done, and thanks so much for letting me snag one of these bad boys. If you guys have any more questions about the head that I didn't address, ask them in the comments down below. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter. You know the deal, @MainlyMesh everywhere. Thanks so much. I will catch you guys next time.